You know, I grew up on not technically seaside, um, just a city really near the seas. And if you go to the urban area in the city, you actually will see the real sea. I might say the word seas too much. It's kind of like a bay. So we're on the end of the bay, and it's linked into the river, and the river goes through the city. So it's really like Liverpool, and maybe that's why I really love this place, because it's such a warm feeling. I'm home again, but not quite like home. Um, I really like Liverpool because, you know, England is an island, and so it's like a little hill, and so you can walk down to the seaside and walk up back home. But at my hometown, we're just like plain. It's a big plain and got some river. It's quite nice. It's beautiful. But I don't know why. I just really love this place. Maybe it's because I love the Beatles. And it's such a dream come true to live, to study in this gorgeous city. I know some of my friends or my relatives, one of my relatives, and she comes to visit me during the Christmas holiday. Her husband is from Manchester, and she lived in the States. She worked in New York, Wall Street, and I think after they married, they bought a house in Long Island or rent, or is it rent or buy? I don't know. But she come from that background, and she complained about how shitty she think Manchester and Liverpool. She think it's too small. There's nothing, nothing going on, and I completely understand. Whenever I come home or I think about my life before I come to England, it really has everything. It just you used to. It's that environment that you get used to. You get cozy, and you have everything goes on. And my home um, is in the center of the city, quite near the center, the very center. And I my friends used to joke about this. They said I need to take the subway for 1 hour to get into the city, and before that I have to do the makeup for 1 hour, and before the makeup I have to eat my breakfast. I have to have a shower and do lots of things. So before we met, before like if we go for a movie or something, maybe 11 o'clock, they literally get up at 7 or 6:30 in the morning and just do the whole thing, and dress well. And but after that, they need to travel a lot just to come to see me and see a movie. And me, I go to like 10:30 and do nothing because I'm normally not wearing makeup or something, and clothes is just put on something near me and not stinky. That's true. That's true. and uh, and so when they got there, they all dressed up and look stunning, and me, my eyes are still not quite wide open. I'm not quite sober actually, and just numbling gibberish through the phone. Where are you? My head is hurt. And we're at the cinema. We're at the center of the hall. You crazy bitch. Where the hell are you? I said, I'm on the way. And so I walk like 10 minutes. Maybe take a subway, but just for one short station, and just arrived. And it's so pissed off. And why am I talking? Why am I talking to my past? Why am I talking? It's so strange. And so, for me, that standard urban environment is just my life. I lived in the house that my parents are still living for more than 10 years, almost 10 years. Almost 10 years. And so I grew up in that area, and you know, my teenage years, and my relatives are quite like me. She grew up in Hong Kong, so is another level of I don't know how to describe that. It's much more fancier, and it's much more busy, and it's really, Hong Kong is a small place, but you know, kind of like the finance center of Asia. And so there's lots going on, and she grew up in the background like that, and she just can't understand why I'm feeling so cozy and comfortable live in Liverpool. I complained when I talked to her through the brunch. I talked about that. I think maybe there's not everything going on. Maybe there's lots less busier in the life that we used to know. But I quite like this place. I really like this place. I love the view, I love the culture, I love just everything. And I really feel that I belong here. It's so strange. I never felt like that I belong to somewhere. Ask around. I'm always be the one that, oh, I want to move to a new place. I want a new life. I want everything, good or bad, just behind me, and not exactly move on. It's just I need something new to stimulate me. But in this place, I just want to sit down, chill out, and have a beer, have a nice conversation with the people who live here. And I really want to live here someday. And it's feeling so strange, it's so newly to me. I never feel the same. Not before, I think not after ever feel like this. This is the first time that I want to settle down. I've been not a lot of place, but quite some place. And everywhere I go, I just feel like I'm a traveler, I'm a passenger. I'm just, in the city, maybe a couple of weeks, maybe a couple of days, maybe a couple of months, maybe a couple of years, if I need to study or work there. But I never feel like that I have to or have the urge just to stay in that place. But I had these strange feelings about Liverpool. I don't know why. Maybe it's something hooked up on me. Maybe it's the Beatles, who knows. And I'm feeling real sad that I have to move to another dorm and never had the chance to see this view again. Because I think I probably live there until this whole thing was over. So it's to summer holiday. And after summer holiday, I need to find a new place. And this accommodation is specifically for the freshmen or for just, the first year in University of Liverpool. It got some exchange project. If you're in this project, and maybe you are in second year, but you are first year in Liverpool, so you can stay in this accommodation. But next year I'll be a year 3 student. Not a freshman anymore. Nothing. Just a guy just about to be kicked out of school. About to kick out of uni. And so I need to find another place to live. But it's kind of good for me. I never know what's on the inside of a wine of that. If you study in the same university, you will probably know what I'm talking about. But if you're not, it's fine. And yep, the new dorm is really not that good, and so it's kind of chance that next year no booking that place. It's a hard no. It's just a big red cross. Maybe I move in with my other friends. Maybe, who knows? Experience to just not live in cozy university accommodation. Who knows? I quite like the feeling or that experience when you live outside university, live just in a normal house, and it's kind of feel like you got your own apartment for the first time, but not really, because if you live with other people, then you have a roommate, and so it's not technically belongs to you, or your first accommodation, or your first apartment, something like that. But it's kind of like a new experience for me, so maybe I try, I don't know. And so, let's packing. Talk too much. Every fucking time. Talk too much. Oh, and I like to listen to music when I'm doing some chores. Maybe wash dishes or just cleaning my room. So today's record is, wait a moment, it's this one. It's the one that I bought. This one is full price, half price. Maybe it's on a sale, I don't know. I bought a lot of records on that day, just before quarantine. God bless. And so this is Eagles Hell Freeze Over, the 25th anniversary. So the Eagles Hell Freeze Over is the 25th anniversary of the group. So 25 years after they started the groups, and they have this Hell Freeze Over concert, and I really loved that concert. I watched it online so many times, and finally I can buy a disc, 2 LP remastered. And I don't know why I love Eagles. I just love them. Maybe it's because my father used to put the music on CDs. We used to use CDs, crazy. And I think the first song that I listened is Hotel California. So it's really classy, and it is the most classic version. It's in this Hell Freeze Over concert. The 7 or 7.5 version, a very very long version with I think it's nearly 1 minute intro, Hotel California, and it blows my mind that it was wow, this song is amazing. And then in that CD it has a lot of other songs, and it has a couple of songs of Eagles as well, but I can't remember the names. I just remember Hotel California really well because I asked my dad for the name, and he tells me the name, which actually in my mother language, but I remember that quite well. And I think Eagles is one of the band that, you know, just it's kind of like the first English band that I started to hear. Maybe it's not the only one. So he got a couple of CDs, a lot actually, and they have a lot of songs on it, and it's from a lot of different bands, some Eagles, and they all became the band or the singer that I really love, like Eric Clapton. I got his records as well, Unplugged, and Bob Dylan, and Carpenters. There's so many peoples. Or Harvest Moon. Who sings Harvest Moon? Neil Young. Yeah. And so, Rolling Stones, the Beatles. There's too many amazing peoples, and so they kind of like, you know, the my music godfathers or godmothers, and I really worship them. And I finally had the chance to buy this record, and so when we start to do the actual packing, I listen to the first song is Get Over It. Oh, it's a quite fast song actually, quite jolly, jolly good. Okay, let's start packing.